Hey guys, and welcome to Crazy Burger. So in this video I'm going to be looking at the 4 games from the Delphine Software Collection coming soon on Evercade, and I'm a little bit surprised we're getting a collection from Delphine Software given the fact that 2 of the games are point and click, but they're really iconic games. Now let's have a look at all 4 games, play through them, I'll give you my thoughts as we go. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, first game is Another World. Now this has been released in many different platforms over the years, from like the Sega Mega CD. I remember there being a version on that, and it's been released actually fairly recently. I'm pretty sure there was an anniversary edition on the Xbox and PlayStations quite recently. I'm sure I picked one up. I've definitely played it very recently, but it's a tricky game. If you've ever played this, you'll know this is not an easy game to get through. It's certainly one of these games you will get frustrated. So it's kind of like a puzzle platformer type of thing. Shoot 'em up, I don't know, it's kind of hard to actually describe. But the sort of opening scene here is kind of reminds me a little bit, it's kind of like Total Recall meets Tron or something, I don't know. So don't shoot me for making that sort of comparison, but that's just what the vibes are giving me. No idea what's going on, but basically you've done some kind of experiment and gets hit by lightning and you get transferred to another world. So I'll let you watch the rest of this video. If you want to skip, I'll leave chapters in the video if you want to skip through these sort of cutscenes, which are quite cool and iconic for these games because they certainly stood out at the time. Okay, so when you actually get to play the game, you're going to want to experiment with some of the moves, the running. You can actually kick some of the enemies at this present moment. You can also jump past them, but I wouldn't recommend it. You can see there's these black horrible things that come from the ceiling, which basically scratch you and kill you instantly, and already I'm dead. So the best thing to do is actually just stand still, press the fire button, and you can kick them and destroy them, which obviously helps. But yeah, you are going to die a lot in this game, and this is probably one thing that's going to benefit on Evercade, the fact that we can use those save states to take away that frustration, because playing this game back in the day, it was unbelievably frustrating to play because you would die a lot, and I just feel something it wasn't really my fault, it was just how the game was designed. So yeah, it was frustrating, so hopefully the Evercade will take some of that away. And yeah, the game is very trial and error. You are going to die quite a lot, which yeah, it's not great. A lot of people probably won't really enjoy this, but once you make some progress, this game is quite cool. I really like it, and I'm looking forward to playing it more when it does get released on Evercade. It's certainly a very iconic game, probably more so from the different cutscenes, the graphics, what's going on. Very cool. I really am looking forward to playing this a lot more. Okay, so this is Flashback, and the surprising thing here on the Amiga collection on the blue label, we are getting a Mega Drive version of Flashback. Now, I'm not entirely sure what the reasoning is behind that. Apparently, the Amiga version doesn't run well. Now, I'm not sure if that's the Amiga version's issue or it's just because it doesn't run well on Evercade. That's not entirely clear. I had a quick bash at the Amiga version before playing the Mega Drive one, and it seemed okay to me. I didn't really see any massive issues, to be honest. But the Mega Drive version might be the better version of the two. There seems to be a little bit extra added sounds on this version, I think. I'm not entirely sure because I haven't played the Amiga version long enough to know what the differences are between them. But I have played the Mega Drive version quite a lot. I bought this back in the day and I really enjoyed it. It was one of those games you had to buy. It looked so good. It obviously stood out from practically everything else. It was very unique. The animation of that character was absolutely brilliant. It reminded me a little bit like a Prince of Persia style game in a way. I guess that might be a bit crude, but that's how the sort of character moves and the sort of platform elements reminded me of. And it's cool, but I definitely didn't get far back in the day. I don't think I thought it through enough. I got stuck quite a lot. It is pretty hard. Obviously, if you died, you really went all the way back to the start, so yeah, it did get really frustrating. So again, just like some of the other games, using those Evercade save states on these games is going to be absolutely brilliant, and it's going to be really cool to actually make progress in some of these games. Now, Flashback's been released on tons of different formats over the years. It's on all the latest consoles, you can probably find it right now, but getting on this collection is probably good value for money. If you're trying to pick up a physical copy of this, or either on the Mega Drive or on the Nintendo Switch or something, it wouldn't be completely cheap. So it is nice to see it, and I'm a big fan of this game. I really enjoyed it. The controls can be quite tricky to get used to, and the movement and such of the character, jumping, shooting, all the rest of it. It does get a little bit fiddly, which is something that they seem to specialise in, is fiddly controls in their games. Not Evercade, that's Delphine Software I'm talking about. Anyway, this is a really good game, and I'm really glad that it's coming to Evercade. So this is Future Wars, the first point and click game on this collection. Now we already have some point and click games on Evercade in the shape of Dracula and another game that's on, oh, I can't even remember, is it Mega Cat Studios collection maybe, or the Pico collection? I can't remember what one, but yeah, I'm not really entirely sure the games work on an Evercade product, given the fact that we don't have a mouse. Now, this game obviously used a mouse on the Amiga with a mixture of right click and left click on the button, and it's awkward, to be honest. Even using a mouse, it probably was a little bit tricky and awkward to use. And there's a lot of options, as you can see there. I'm not sure why there's a use and an operate, so it's a bit confusing what option you need to choose to actually make progress. I guess it's just your typical point and click games. And if you've played anything like Monkey Island, Broken Sword, sometimes the puzzles are very obscure and it's not totally clear what you're supposed to do, what objects you're supposed to combine, like rubbing a stone off an elephant to get a key to open a door that's in a faraway land. I don't know, something unbelievably stupid like that, but you kind of get the idea. Sometimes it is a bit confusing. Sometimes progress gets a bit stunted, and you're really not sure where you're supposed to actually go from there. So it's very much experimentation. Just combine everything, check everything, examine everything. So in a video purpose, it doesn't really make for a great video because it looks a bit boring. But I guess in reality, when you're playing this game, you probably quite enjoy it and trying to discover what you're supposed to do. But I guess this type of game is certainly not for everyone. A lot of people may not like this style of game, may get a bit bored, fed up with the controls, fed up with the clunky nature, fed up trying to figure out what you're supposed to do. But for me, I'm actually quite looking forward to exploring this game further, because it's not a game I've played before, either on Amiga or even the A500 Mini. But I'm certainly intrigued. I'm looking forward to trying it. I'm really more intrigued at how Blaze are going to incorporate the controls. Obviously, they're going to use the D-pad for the cursor movement, and maybe use some of the other buttons for some of the other options. I don't know. So that's probably one of the things that could make or break this game, whether they get that right and we have a winner on our hands. Because I'm pretty sure there's a really good game here, and I'm quite looking forward to playing it. But I certainly have a little bit of trepidation about it, because it's tricky and it really ideally needs a mouse. And some of the controls, when you're trying to like pick certain items, you need to be finely tuned. And like here, for instance, it does get a little bit of sort of annoying, where you need to be right next to the object before you can actually operate it. Like I'm trying to operate the green button to go back down again, but you need to move closer to the object. Why could it just not automatically go there, because that's what you're choosing? Anyway, that's just how the game works. And it seems good, but I can't really make a full decision in if this game's decent or not, but it seems really good quality nonetheless. Okay, so this is Operation Stealth, but obviously I am playing the US version of this, which was known as James Bond 007, The Stealth Affair. The US version had the license to use the James Bond name for some reason, which is odd because you're taking orders from the CIA and not MI6, so it is a little bit confusing. But there's obviously some references to James Bond in this version that I'm playing, which you will not see on the Evercade version. The character's name was changed to John Glames for the European version that we will get on Evercade for sure. But yeah, this game is pretty similar to Future Wars, and obviously it's a point and click game, and the way it operates is pretty similar. You've got all the same sort of menu options to choose from, and it works exactly the same way. So if Blaze Evercade obviously get the controls right for one game, they'll just transfer that to the other game, and they will work in exactly the same fashion. Okay, so the game starts. You're sent to Santa Paragua. Obviously, that's probably fictional, I believe, to investigate the disappearance of the stealth aircraft, and then you're kind of stuck at the airport here because you can't pass through without showing your passport. So you need to basically sneak into the toilets, fix up the passport somehow, then make it through. But this game is just like Future Wars. It's so clunky. The operations and the controls are so awkward. So I'm really intrigued to how the heck Blaze are going to make this successful and work on sort of D-pads and buttons, for example. Ideally, you need a mouse, but time will tell. There's a really good game here. I'm really looking forward to playing it. I think it's quite cool. I definitely love my point and click adventures, but at this point it's certainly up in air whether this will be successful and whether it will work with the controls that we get on an Evercade. But anyway, that beside, this looks like a very interesting collection. I think some really high quality, really decent games. I definitely didn't expect to see these games. Maybe Another World, given the fact that it's on the A500 Mini anyway. But Flashback, no, probably didn't expect to see that at all, nor did I expect to see two point and click games. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The Amiga collection, the Team 17 collection that is, was absolutely brilliant. So if we're getting more Amiga, I'm very much on board for that. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we see even more Amiga. I think this could certainly open the doors to see a lot more Amiga on Evercade, and I would absolutely love it. The games so far have been excellent. Anyway guys, thanks very much for watching the video. I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.